This is a hard one for me to talk about as well, but being married to someone for 53 years, obviously I feel your pain here because it's my father. What I don't even know how to approach this without getting emotional, but what advice, how do you lose someone that you had for 53 years? How do you go on? Like, how can you even breathe?
Very good question. And I have a very good answer. I will say this because I want anyone listening to this to know something I learned from a doctor's report, that when you cry for different reasons. You cry for happiness, joy, all this, things that laughter can, and true happiness when you're laughing at things are good for your soul. The Bible said it's like medicine when you laugh. But when you cry, there is a healing process.
Feels good when you cry sometimes.
And there's a healing in it. And there's for a lack of a better word, a chemical substance that God put in us, that when we lose someone, the more we cry, the crying goes into our inner soul and being and physical body, that we are healing. I know there's people that can't move on in life because of the grief. Grief is a process, but it never really always goes away. I had a moment the other day. I was going to Publix and I had to pull over because I heard a song that was ours. And it just happened, And yet, there's many times I dream about him, and I love to do that. It was in all ages of our life, which was so interesting.
The dream,
and dreaming, and the love that we shared, and the life we had together. However, I know ultimately that God's plan is that one day we will all pass away. But we are made with a soul, a spirit that will last forever, for eternity. And the joy that I have is in the Lord, is His strength that He gives me. I want to, not that I can do it, but the Lord through me, I would love to minister to widows that can't go on. And I would love to try to encourage them in this area.
Well, this is your opportunity right now. If they're listening and maybe they're at the end of their rope, or they're in a really tough place, or maybe just having a bad day triggered by a song like you did.
Right.
What
it's all normal. It is.
What would you say to them, and what is your just either go-to verse or?
Well, the only comfort that I receive, and you can receive, is absolutely trusting the Lord and turn to Him. Maybe you don't know Him, but cry out to Him and ask Him. If you ask, seek, and knock, you will find. You will find it. He will answer your prayers. He will give you the strength to go on. He will give you, even though you still grieve and you have your moments, try to turn your memories that are sad. I'm so glad He made us with memories, because that's what I do. I take joy now. It took me a while. It takes a while of the grieving process, but you will get to a place where you will absolutely have a smile on your face remembering Him. You don't forget, and you don't ultimately ever stop grieving, but you go on. You go on like He would want you to go on in life. Find joy in wherever the Lord leads you. Get in a church group. I know my ladies at church, my Bible studies, all of that just brings so much inspiration and encouragement for me to go on. So I really pray that for all of you that hear this.
So find maybe, people who have gone through the same thing, some of the ladies that are widows.
Yes, they share their heartaches, of course, and it just helps when you have someone.
Yeah.
that truly understands your feelings and what you're going through.
I know for me, missing dad or losing dad, which is different than a relationship with a spouse, especially for 53 years, but obviously all of my life, and the father-son relationship versus the spouse relationship is different. But, I like you said, I don't think you're ever free from the weight of it. And some days the weight is really realized. I think that we can be in the Word, and we can be encouraged, and we can be in good spirits, and we can be busy and occupying the time like we're supposed to. And like the gravity of it is a little lighter because we see the big picture. We see that we're not, of this earth, and that we're going to be reunited in heaven one day. Right. But there's other days where that zoom out, perspective, consciousness is not really clear, and we're in our situation, we're in our problems, we're in our pain, maybe we're in our grief, and gosh, the weight just hits you like, oh man, this can't be forever. Like this, and those are really the tough days for me.
Of course.
But I get what you mean by the memories, because I think that, and I see those now with my boys. I find myself parenting like he parented. I hear my voice in my correcting of my sons, or in my, being proud and telling them that they're the apple of my eye, or, I can hear I say it the same way that he said it. And I know how it made me feel when he said it. So it's an amazing like happiness that bubbles up to know that I'm carrying on those things to my son, and that, it hurts that he's not here to see them and their accomplishments or my accomplishments, but it is very comforting to know, better to have loved and lost than never loved at all. It's encouraging to have those memories, those little moments of joy that you can tuck away and sort of savor on, that you can't buy. Money cannot buy you those things. But, they help enrich that person's life overall. We miss the time that we had with them on earth, but what is the overall picture of that person? Were they meant to live forever? No, they were meant to live. They were meant to die. And I believe that if you can look at it that way and just celebrate their life, celebrate the memories, carry on their legacies, and carry on things like, I sort of live in this perspective of that dad is watching. Now, do I know he's watching? I think he's way too busy in the golden streets, and he's not preoccupied or burdened by the things of the earth by any means. But I like to envision that the things that he entrusted me to do, or the things that I promised him to do, like take care of you, that I'm doing, and that he is finding pleasure in, and that I'm getting pleasure in fulfilling, his will, just like we're meant to do with our Heavenly Father's will. And I think there's comfort in that. There's purpose in that. There's meaning in that. You savor, his memories and y'all's songs and dates and things. And, it's that is a source of joy for you, I think.
It is.